Appreciate everybody being here. Um, Back at it again this week. Looking forward to another opportunity against a really good opponent back on the road. And so happy with the guys coming back in Sunday, with just the willingness to grow and get better. Just recapping the game on Saturday. A lot of things that we can take and grow from as a team. I mean, the expectation is to compete to win the game, and we didn't get that done. And you got to find the areas in the game that cause you from to not win the game, and that's what our focus has been on. And so a lot of positives, and then a lot of things that we've got to get cleaned up here early in the season as we want to continue to grow as a team and click off some wins. So our full focus is on UT Martin. A lot of respect for Coach Simpson, who's done it for a long time. I believe I played against him here, and as a player, he's done it for a long time. A lot of respect for him and just the consistency that program's had, and him as a play caller. And I think we recruited. I've gotten to know their quarterback a little bit. I think he's a tough kid. I think he's in a good spot that he's going to have a lot of success for. So we know the preparation that we're going to have to go down there on the road and play well.
Let's go ahead with questions now. Dan, if you want to start us off.
Good to see you, Coach.
How's it going?
It's going well, thank you. I know Barry's taking a look at tight ends this week, and you had Ryan Schwindeman, back from injury, and I think he had his first touchdown catch in more than a year. So, first of all, what's it been meant to have Ryan back, and then just kind of your tight ends room as a whole?
Yeah, I think last year I think he had a couple touchdowns, and then it was I think game 3 he was out for the season, and then we played the majority of the season without AJ as well. And so, coming off a year that those two guys not having them, but having their experience back, obviously in game 1 wasn't targeted. He had the one target in the second half, but his role will continue to expand. Ryan's a fabulous player, physical. And so those guys do a great job for us. Really, it's just the maturity of that group. AJ has been a leader here and been on the football field for a long time for us. The expectation, the physicality. I thought they physically had some really good reps on Saturday, showing the physicality. Some of the outside when we were able to get the ball bounced out to the outside. AJ did a great job against a couple of really good players, and so those guys will continue to lead the way for us.
Kind of to follow up on that, a lot of people think tight ends catching the ball, but there's so much more to it, as you know. Can you talk about the tight end's impact on the run game?
Yeah, I mean they're an extension. They're involved in the run game. I would say if you can't do that, then you're probably not going to find yourself on the field. You're just a wide receiver at that point. So, and our league's full of them. I mean, I think our league is full of tight ends that you're going to use for blocking, and I mean, we got guys that are all over in the NFL. And so I think yeah, when you think of that, that's where it starts. Can you do that? Can you physically play in the Missouri Valley from a physicality standpoint? And then obviously when you can find a guy that does both, and you can move them around and split them out and use them as a wide receiver as well, then those are the guys that make a difference.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, Dan. Matt, we'll go to you next.
Thank you. Good morning, Nick.
What's up, Matt?
Not too much. How are you doing?
Good.
Good. Coach, I guess with 2 games under your belt now, what's maybe the biggest thing that you've seen in both games that you've kind of sat there and said, we got to clean that up on?
Um, I think every game is a little bit different. I don't know if there was, carryover so much on um, one specific thing. So I think, we've got to continue to take care of the football on offense. We got to continue to play clean football, and as far as just alignment and assignment. And I think that we've had a pretty good, pre-snap operation, and we got to continue to do that. I think when you find yourselves, I mean, really the first 2 weeks, the one time we had to punt in week one, you get behind the chains. You put yourself in third and 12 pluses. Those aren't ideal situations. We found ourselves in those backed up because of the one penalty, where we found ourselves in a third and 20. Those aren't going to be recipes for success. And then we got to find a way, like this past week, just getting off the field. They lived in really a lot of third medium, third and shorts. And so we've got to get to the quarterback, but I wouldn't say there's just one thing that we're out there. It's just a consistent. We got to make sure that the things that we've done well in week 1 and 2 that we continue to do well. I think that that's the just as much as cleaning something up. It's continuing to hone in on your fundamentals and techniques.
Uh, Notice that Noah Finsky has been playing a lot of center for you lately. I know he's kind of a kind of a jackknife. He's able to be what you need on the line, but with just his story and his journey to be kind of your leader on the offensive line, what's it mean for him to be having that role and here for this final year with you guys?
Yeah, he's really coming out of spring ball. He played center all spring, all summer, all fall camp. I mean, that was his true position. Really, that's what he, was played at Iowa, played at, he's played all over the place, but, at Colorado, played center. And so for us to just be able to get him back there, communication, the experience factor, as far as just being around a lot, right? I think we've talked about that a lot. I think at any position that you have more experience, more reps, it pays off, and so especially with that unit up front, an experienced offensive line.
And then looking at UT Martin, they've struggled to establish the run in their first 2 games. Thinking about just, obviously you want to be able to continue that trend for them to get a win. But what challenges does your run defense face going up against UT Martin this week?
Yeah, I think it's hard. I think everybody just gotta everybody that kind of like looks at stats preseason, or comparing anybody across the FCS, everybody's schedules are different. They go to Oklahoma State and then they go to UTEP. So they've played back-to-back FBS road games. And so it's hard. Everything just kind of pans itself out. Everything is they've had to play from behind. So you're obviously not just grinding the ball out. I think the quarterback run game this week, he's going to be a threat to run the ball. Coach does a great job with formations and motions and things that we got to be prepared for. I think both of their backs run hard. I think one runs really hard. So yeah, I think it's just you just got to take each game, each team. They're not gonna do the exact same thing Purdue did. There'll be some things that they see on the film that they have in their playbook that they'll probably test us on, but it's really about just each individual game, a story of its own.
Thanks, Coach.
Thanks, Matt. All right, Bucky, whenever you're ready, you can go ahead.
Good morning, Nick. How you doing?
Good, Bucky. What's up?
Hey, well, the sun's up for one thing. Um, but also what's up? I was going to ask, kind of, your evaluation of UT Martin's offense. I was going to ask you now, what does their defense do? What concerns you about what they do from a scheme or an individual standpoint as you look ahead to this game?
Yeah, I think that they've consistently had a lot of we haven't played them in a while, and some crossover things from when we play SEMO. But yeah, they're gonna mix up. They play some bear front. They're gonna be some odd. So when you're in that structure, you can bring some different pressure packages based on your linebackers and whatever you want to call the jack or the stand up end. So it's a variety. I mean, Coach Partridge, their defensive coordinator, has been around a long time. He's been a head coach for a long time. This will be a well-coached team. I mean, Coach Simpson's been a head coach for 20 years, and Coach Partridge was a head coach for 20 years. It's called defenses. So it's going to be an organized, well-coached team. So we just got to watch the tape. We can't stray away and just try to the game. We got to do what we do well, what our players do well. Oftentimes you've heard that it's about players, not plays. We got to put them in good position, but we just have to go execute what we do.
Yeah. Health-wise, how did your team come out of Saturday night?
Yeah, pretty good. It's 2 games in a row that, knock on wood, but I mean, those are part of our game, but we've stayed pretty healthy here.
Yeah. Um, Gonna ask too about the Purdue game. DJ runs the ball 17 times, and a couple of those are obviously sacks. The running backs combined had 6 running plays. Was it just kind of a deal where you saw something in their defense that you thought would be better off trying to exploit with DJ running the football? Just how did that shake out that way?
Yeah, it's kind of the same thing I said. I mean, it's game to game, right? You put together a game plan that you want to win, not to play it close. And then we didn't have many possessions there in the second half. So felt good about the plan. And then when we got into the second half, we had 2 possessions and we didn't do much with them. I mean, when we started out, we got a first down, and then that's when we got behind the chains. Um, we, second and 10, and then we were in 2 third and long. So when you can consistently keep picking up first downs, it's so we gotta have to run the football, and we will. Going to Purdue, I think you guys asked the same thing when we beat Northwestern. I think we ran maybe a half dozen real run plays to win that football game. So I don't think that, us going to Purdue just shut out a team that tried running the ball a ton, gave up no points. So you're going to put together a game plan that you feel like you can win the game.